every stereotype you want to come up with. You know, he's got that, you know, that soft voice. You know, he's not big and
Wow,
strong.
that's a good impression.
It's true.
This is your friendly neighborhood ex-Muslim. On August 15th, 2020, Mohammed Hijab, in his desperate attempt to discredit me and poison the well, has gone to a new low of using Muslims who knew me to slander me. This is not the first time this has happened. Fareed tried to get Imam Arij Anwar to do the same. At least he stuck to faith issues. Hijab uploaded a video of a former friend of mine, Fayyazuddin Ahmed Syed, and he decided to speak about, guess what? Not my religious beliefs, my personal family issues, and attacking me personally. You see, I had gone through some marital issues some years ago, and even though he was Muslim, I had spoken to Fayaz as I thought he was still my friend. He promised me he would keep a discussion in confidence. Yet, to our dismay, both Cheryl and I, he decided to divulge mixed up details from my conversation 4 years ago with him. Cheryl did not appreciate him mentioning our personal issues like this. Neither did I. For what? To make me look bad, right? Yet again, Cheryl, who is completely innocent, is getting dragged into this simply because she's my wife. This is so sad because this is a lowering of the discourse. Young Muslims look up to Hijab and Ali Dawah and people like that. If these guys act like thugs, what example are they setting for the Ummah? As representatives of Islam, those who are calling to Allah, doing dawah, what example are they setting? What image are they giving of Muslims and of Islam? After all that's said and done, these guys only have personal attacks to add to the conversation. One of the comments on Mohammed Hijab's post was by Samantha Wise, probably a Muslim convert, that said, "How horrible is this man? Talking about other people's private lives, finances, and marriages. What the hell does he know about what happens in someone else's home? And if he does know for whatever reason, to put his secrets out there in public. So attack his arguments, not what he does in his private life." That's enough of a response right there. Enough said. This is not right. Go through my videos. Did I ever personally attack my opponents? In July 2018, I made a video responding to Mohammed Hijab on the Deen Show about wife beating. I didn't make any personal attacks. I stuck to demolishing his terrible arguments. Who is Fayaz? I don't remember how I met him, but I believe it was at an Islamic seminar. We became friends because we were both into Islamic studies, and also Fayaz wanted to get into software development, so we also had that in common. So as you listen to this former friend of mine, Fayaz, speak, you'll notice several things. Number one, he contradicts himself. He says I had no money, yet apparently I was loaning him money. Number two, he repeats pointless factoids that Mohammed Hijab said about me, things like he has no muscles, he's a computer nerd. So what? Does Fayaz look like the type of person to be complaining about how others look? 3, and most importantly, he projects his own desires onto me. He says he has a white trophy wife, and he says, why isn't he having sex with lots of women? What kind of atheist is he? Does he ever go on and on about money? The things he complains about are the very things on the top of his mind. He probably thinks that's what life is all about for people without God. How is any of this relevant to the arguments I am making? And what kind of person does this to you after you help them like this? Let's get to it.
I'm with Fayyad, one of the friends of Cringe Apostate, whose name is Samir, sorry, his actual name is Samir. And you knew him, didn't you? You knew him personally. You were his friend. You grew up with him. Tell us a little bit about, because some people think this is staged, where you grew up and how you know him.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh. We didn't, to be fair, I didn't grow up with him, but I knew him for several years. We knew, our families knew each other. I knew his children. We went to the same masjid. My wife knew his wife. We had the same circle of friends. We went to the same masjid, Mississauga here. I'm from Toronto. He went to the University of Waterloo. I went to the University of Toronto. We both work in IT. We both are in the same field as developers. He's a web developer. I'm a mobile developer. So we ran in the same circle. Went to the same classes with Al Maghrib and Al Kawthar. Yeah. I knew him quite well. We were very close. He loaned me money many times. I have to give him credit. He helped me out, in my career in different ways. MashaAllah. I mean, I'm very grateful for whatever help I received. Absolutely.
So he admits that I helped him out in his life. Basically, in other words, that I was a good person. Yet despite this, he is about to backstab me. I'm going to show you some examples where I helped him. This was not a one-time thing. Even after I left Islam, I helped Fayaz repeatedly, over and over again. I loaned him money. I helped him set up a business. I gave him advice on starting a YouTube channel and on technical investments like Bitcoin. I even invited him to a private Bitcoin investment group that I set up. And even my wife was surprised that Fayaz went and made this video. Not only did he not verify anything with Shirl, he mixed up a lot of the details. She wasn't happy about that. And this guy claimed to be our friend and to know our family. You see, this is what Islam can do to your brain. On one hand, they claimed that Muhammad was Al-Amin and that the non-Muslims were able to trust him with their secrets and money. That when he left for Medina, he made sure that all his obligations were taken care of and trusts returned to the owners. Yet when it's convenient, they drop that narrative and this big shot dawah man Hijab goes to my friends to slander me using private family matters from 4 years ago. You see, when they think you are an enemy of Allah, all the morality goes out the window. All basic human decency is gone. Fayaz told me the things we would discuss would not be shared. But when it came down to it, he backstabbed me and threw my wife and I under the bus by sharing our personal matters in public. As Samantha said in the Facebook post, how horrible is this man? It says in the Quran, let not the believers take for friends or helpers unbelievers rather than believers. If any do that, in nothing will there be help from Allah except by way of precaution, and you may guard yourselves from them. In Salafism, the hostility is even more emphasized. It's very much an us versus them mentality. Kuffar versus Muslims. Believers versus disbelievers. The Quran says, Muhammad is a messenger of Allah, and those who are with him are strong against unbelievers but compassionate amongst each other. This sort of super tribal thinking is harmful to our world. It has no place. We are one humanity. With or without religion, good people can behave well and bad people can do evil. But for good people to do evil, that takes religion, attributed to Steven Weinberg.
And tell me now, since you were friends with him and stuff, in terms of him apostatizing and leaving Islam, you know his brother very well, you know his family members. What I mean, we have lots of theories because of the stuff that he's got on the internet, like about divorcing his wife 3 times and stuff like that. He couldn't handle that. You know?
Yeah.
What would you say is the theory for actually why this man left Islam and actually became an opponent of it?
I think the root cause is that he just didn't have a good understanding of Islam. He's just weak in his belief. Just an emasculated human being who just wasn't strong enough to stand up for himself in terms of faith, in terms of his manhood, in many ways. Even financially, he struggled for a bit as well. Yeah.
Because Fayaz has actually gone and slandered me online, and only for this reason, I'm going to show you relevant parts of our conversations over the years to show you why I'm so upset and why I feel so betrayed by this individual. So at this time, he's saying, I'm going to pay off my debts to you and I apologize for the delay and I appreciate your patience and help. And then again, he says, I was wondering if I could borrow $100 for the week and I'll return it to you plus a $500 I already owe you. And then I said, of course, no problem. And he said, I appreciate your help if you can send it to me today. Then again, he says, can I borrow $200 until the 15th? I paid a lot of debt and spent quite a bit recently on Eid gifts. And then again, he says, I need to talk to you. Can I chat for a quick second? I need a favor. Can I borrow $800 for a week? I was going to ask if I can borrow $1,000 for about a month. Are you able to loan $1,000 if possible for a month? And then he says, can you send me the money soon? I really appreciate your help, and in a day or two I'll return it. And then in another case, when I was giving him advice on incorporating and how to save money on taxes, he says, I can't thank you enough again for your help. Honestly, I really appreciate it. And then again, a different day, he said, I apologize, but I have a question. Do you have $100 I can borrow for a few days? Then again, he says, Assalamu alaikum, how are you? He's saying, I'll pay you $500 in a week or so, and then the rest next month. And I'm grateful for all your help and patience. And then I say, anything else you need? He says, same, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate your time and help. And another message, can you loan me $250 for a few months? And at this time I said, I don't feel comfortable. And then again, he says, I have a question. How are you doing financially? I said, I'm doing okay. Can't complain. And he's like, I'm in a bind. I'm wondering, can you loan $1,000 for a few months? I could return it in installments. Then he says, I owe you $1,100, right? Or do I owe you more? Then he says, my contract ended So I owe you $1,100 or 4 payments of 200 or whatever. And I said, no worries. Let's chat when you're stable and working. So this is how I'm responding to him. Again, he says, I can't thank you enough for all your help. Thanks once again for everything. Thank you very much for your help again. So my total owing you is $1,600. I said, yeah, you owe me $1,600 now. But like I said, as easy as it is for you to pay me back, that's fine. So as you can see from these messages, Fayaz was not shy to ask me for help over and over and over again. And I helped him, and I was reasonable, and I was considerate, and I was went out of my way to say, just pay me back when you can. It's okay. I understand times are tough. It wasn't like times weren't tough for me. I was also between jobs. But I was able to take care of my finances. I was being responsible with my spending. I wasn't buying things and going for umrahs and spending money on things that I didn't have money for, right? So I was able to manage my money. I almost have a perfect credit score because I pay off my loans on time. I pay my credit card bills in full. I'm a responsible, hardworking, mature individual. Now, Fayaz, for whatever reason, didn't have the same situation, and I was there to help him. Now, would you believe, after all this, that this is the same individual who came on camera laughing and mocking me for the way I look, for my lack of muscles, for my beard, and divulged, personal, confidential things that I told him about relationship issues back in 2016? This is an individual who I helped more than his Muslim friends. I actually referred him for a job, and the Muslim guy I referred him to told me I'm not going to hire him because I don't like the quality of his work. And here I was, a non-Muslim, ex-Muslim, atheist, helping him. And this is what he did to me. It's shameful. It really is upsetting and shameful. As for not having a good understanding of Islam, I really don't have any comment on that. My blog demonstrates that you are wrong. But of course, to these people, you can never know enough Islam to leave it, no matter how much you know. I know individuals who studied the original sources in Arabic and apostatized. People who went to the University of Medina, spoke to the shuyukh there to resolve their doubts, but there was no good answers. People who read the Quran and the Seerah in its original language, who went to secondary and tertiary sources in Arabic that are not available in English. Yet I bet he'd even say that guy had a weak understanding.
And in terms of him being emasculated, if you want to use that term, did he show that, were there any incidents that you know of, maybe with his family members, with his wife, with something like that showed to you that actually this man was under a spell, in the sense that he was not asserting himself in the way that he wants to as a man?
Well, it comes, we're all, how should I put it? To a certain degree, even though I was born and raised here in Canada, we're a visual minority, so he has that already to begin with.
Unlike Fayaz, I've never complained about being a visible minority. As I said in my video about secularism in January 2017, I was always judged on merit, never on skin color or religion. I never felt it got in my way, even as a Muslim with a big beard. Fayaz is projecting again. He probably feels insecure about this, probably because he doesn't even bother trimming his beard or trying to look decent. It just goes everywhere in all directions. And I was a fantastic developer, not a mediocre one. I was proud to be who I was, and I did well in life despite having a beard and being obviously Muslim. Because my work ethic shines through, because of my intelligence and problem-solving skills, because of my communication, leadership, and persona, I've always got whatever salary I asked for. Because I am a valuable asset to any organization, and I bring value to the team.
He's not a big, muscular, strong guy. He doesn't come from a rich family by any means.
Seriously, this is getting stupid. I'm emasculated because I don't have big, strong muscles? Who are you to talk? Are you a big, tough guy yourself, Fayaz? Is this how you judge if someone is a man now? As for not coming from a rich family, that's a strength. We came to Canada with very little, and through my hard work, I managed to get married young and provide for my family for the last 16 years, all on my own. Now that's what you call a real man. Fayaz is obsessed about money, so that's all he talks and complains about.
And the other thing is, his wife is, let's be honest, okay? She's Caucasian, so that's the typical trophy wife for him. So for him, she was like a prize, You
felt like he felt like she was a prize. That was something that came across in his discourse.
Absolutely. She's in his videos. There are pictures of, I mean, she definitely was, I mean, to be fair, right? Like, I mean, that is or was his wife. I mean, there's nothing wrong, but I mean, he definitely showed her off as much as he could in his videos. I mean, she's there, right? Like, that's his prize. I don't think if she was a brown woman or a black woman or another woman who of a different skin tone, he'd be, parading her like that.
So it's clear that Fayaz, a married guy with kids, is jealous of my wife, or maybe wishes his wife was white. Fayaz, please lower your gaze. Hasad, envy is haram. It's obvious you are infatuated with the idea of being with a white woman, and you are wrong. Even if Cheryl was black, brown, Chinese, or any other race, I would still show her off the way I do now. It's not about the color of her skin, it's about the relationship and love.
Do you think there was anything evidence to suggest that she was in control of that relationship, that she was pressuring him, that he was under her, that he was overly in love with her, that he identified through her, anything like that?
Of course. He when we were back in the day, like before Bitcoin, this whole cryptocurrency industry kind of blew up and crashed and whatnot. He would have been a millionaire many times over, believe it or not, because he was investing heavily into Bitcoin, and it was his wife who told him to get out of it because she was concerned about the family financial situation. So clearly he didn't know how to manage his money properly. Clearly, even herself, was unaware of the industry, but regardless had that kind of a pull on or hold on his, to basically get him out of the business. And he literally could have been a multi-millionaire. He could have been owning the house cash many times over that he lives in right now had he just simply stayed in that business. And but his wife pulled him out.
she pulled him out, yeah.
These points are so ridiculous. How well I did with my investments has nothing to do with my wife. It was all about when I bought and sold. What Fayaz chooses to talk about shows what occupies his brain: money, white girls, and sex. He's resentful that he didn't have money to invest in Bitcoin before it exploded. I had offered him a spot in an investment group that I organized. Some of my friends converted $1,000 into $20,000 or more. A few Muslim guys I know are now sitting on close to $100,000 in Bitcoin. But he didn't. He didn't have money and was too scared to get involved. So now he's resentful. I hope everyone sees just how desperate and pathetic this is to blame this on my wife. I have no words.
Not only did she pull him out, you're saying that he seems to overly project maybe his insecurities of his wife having such a hold on him from an emotional perspective, to the point where there was an incident you were telling me before the show about.
She literally kicked him out of the house. He called me after she had kicked him out of the house, like, Fayaz, and look, I'm a person, I was still friends with him at the time. I'm a person of, I'm there to help. And he was like, Fayaz, you got to promise me, please don't share this with anybody, but look, she thinks because I'm on the web, like making these videos now, that I'm now, chasing women and this, and I'm just using this as a platform. And, he was clearly nervous. He was rattled, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm like, okay, I'm still trying to provide him support on a personal level. I don't wish ill on anyone, so okay, I'm listening to him and whatnot. But if it was fake, if this was all false, then he would have been having more strength to defend himself and said, like, what's wrong with you? You're crazy. Here's the proof. You want to look at my phone? But he clearly didn't have that ability. So obviously there must have been some truth to it. And he didn't want to lose her. He wanted to have his cake and eat it too, basically. He wanted wanted to have his cake and eat it too,
Yeah.
This is the worst part of the whole video. I've been married 16 years. That's a lifetime. And anyone that's been married for that long knows you can't be together that long without having any issues. But what does it take for someone to betray you and share a personal situation that was supposed to be confidential? Fayaz reached out and offered me so-called support at a vulnerable time and said he would advise me. Now, 4 years later, Not only did he get the facts wrong, he shared details about our marriage issues back in 2016 that I trusted him with. He had no right to disclose any such details as to our separation and nature of our issues. That's for husband and wife to work out, not for you to broadcast on the internet, you slow-thinking, dim-witted, attention-seeking drama queen.
And so what you're saying is that she had that kind of a pull on him, and
100%.
yeah. And what you were saying, what do you think really pushed him over the edge in terms of apostating, then, from your perspective?
He just didn't. Again, he didn't have any kind of a foundation in terms of his faith. Things he was struggling for a bit financially. I mean, IT industry, like any industry, goes up and down. And trying to live with a family, in an expensive city like Toronto, affordability and whatnot. Times can be tough. Trust me, I know. I mean, he's married with kids. I'm married with kids. And tough times happen.
Oh, look, he's going on about his favorite topic, money again. Dude, we get it. You're obsessed with money. That wasn't my issue. That's yours. When I left Islam, I had absolutely no financial issues. I was making more money than I'd ever made in my whole life. I bought my first house. I don't know what the heck you are talking about, who the heck you are talking about, but you might want to do some self-reflection here. You think this has something to do with my apostasy? You missed the plot completely.
You think because of those worldly pressures, he basically said, forget this. I'm leaving the religion altogether. He didn't have a foundation altogether.
It's a combination of all of that, right? It's always it's that whole I think we mentioned it, or let's be clear, a massive inferiority complex. We're not talking about
right.
We're not talking about a big, strong, muscular guy who's got a lot of money behind him. We're not talking about someone who just as a personality is just, firm and confident about who he is, who's certain. And, no, we're not talking about, like someone who has that, had that mental fortitude, mental or social fortitude.
Yeah.
That assertiveness, had that confidence. He was just a typical computer nerd. That's it.
Seriously? You think I have an inferiority complex because I'm not a strong man who has a lot of money? What a load of horse manure. You've got to be kidding me, Fayaz. If anything, I'm confident about who I am. I have a highly credited degree at a top university here. I'm successful in my career. I provided for the 7 of us, all on my own, on top of lending you money over and over again. I've ran 2 large Islamic websites and now a successful YouTube channel. Do you know what it takes to do that? It takes balls. It takes balls to stand up to these attacks, to bullies like Hijab, and to lowlives like you, who take to slandering, personal attacks, and divulging family matters.
And every stereotype you want to come up with, he's got that, that soft voice, he's not big and strong.
Wow. That's a good impression.
It's true. Listen, don't take my word for it. Watch it. Why do you think he even keeps his beard after he became a murtad? Look at that. He still has his beard because he did, I think, one video. He looks like such a, like a pansy. Like, oh my God, like really?
He calls me a pansy, and then he says, oh my God, like really? Just like a stereotypical pansy. Fayaz, were you kidding? Do you feel like a big man insulting me behind the camera like this? I dare you to say this to my face. I'm the pansy, I'm the weakling, yet you are the one who couldn't learn to budget, to take care of your family's financial needs, to live within your means. So you had to keep asking me repeatedly over and over again if you could borrow money until I finally got tired of it and said no?
Thought someone who left Islam would have taken off the beard a long time ago and say, hey, women, look at me, woo! No, not. And where are the women, by the way? Where are the women, by the way? Like, okay, come on. Like, think about that for a minute. Okay, you're an atheist now. You are an atheist. You don't believe in an akhirah. This is it. This is your Jannah. You're in the prime of your youth. You're not getting any younger. And instead of sleeping around, fooling around, carpe diem, living life to the fullest, what are you doing? I'm going to attack Islam. Okay, nice purpose of life. Good for you. When I grow up, that's what I want to do. Okay, sure.
Fayaz yet again projecting. Why should I be someone that chases women? I'm happy with my relationship. Just because you are a worthless individual who would chase women and money doesn't mean that's what we all want. And he contradicts himself. He says I'm feminine and then argues, why don't I shave my beard? Is the beard the property of Islam? I look better with the beard, so I'll keep it. That simple.
It seems like he's really obsessed with Islam now. Do you think there's a reason for that?
You know, it's crazy because this is not like the first religion he converted to. He used to be an Ismaili. He used to be an Aga Khani following Ismaili. And you know what? You know what's interesting is that when he was a Muslim, he was a positive person. He wasn't writing angry videos against the Aga Khan. He wasn't attacking Ismailism, and he wasn't going after other adherents of the faith and exposing or whatnot their doctrines or their scripture or the Aga Khan family history or anything like that. And there's a lot of dirt over there. No. But all of a sudden, you know what's funny is that when he became a murtad, it's like he got fired from work. He got expelled from school or kicked out of a fraternity. Literally. You know, like that attitude that, oh, I'll show him. Oh my God, who do they think they are? Oh, angry, bitter, upset, you know, just pathetic.
On my Light Upon Light blog, I actually did write a blog post about Ismailism and why I thought it was false. I did this as a Muslim. I always wanted to do more on the topic, but Ismailism isn't nearly as invasive a religion as Sunnism. You can be a practicing Ismaili and your life will barely be affected. Ismailism gives you a community and a leader but doesn't take over your life like Sunnism does. When you're Sunni, your entire life has to change. Everything from where you work, certain fields of haram, what you do in your free time, what you eat, who you marry, etc. And unlike Ismailism, Sunni Islam is dangerous. It contains horrible ideas like jihad, blasphemy law, and martyrdom. Ideas that have caused so much misery and death, and it needs to be condemned and fought. Ismailism has other shit in it, but not nearly as harmful. It doesn't have any of that nasty, dangerous stuff. It's a feel-good religion. In terms of harm, it barely registers on the radar compared to the misogyny, hatred, and bigotry in Sunni Islam. Sunni Islam, and especially Salafism, messes with our world like nothing else. You have Sunni Muslims who to this day defend killing apostates. To this day. There are Sunni Muslims who will defend child marriage and fight marriage reform because Muhammad supposedly married a child. That prevented countries like Sudan, Yemen, Pakistan, and Saudi from progressing. You see, Islam is not the motherlode of bad ideas, but it sure contains bucket loads of it.
He literally said to his brother, subhanAllah, I wasted 14 years of my life being Muslim. Yet all his successes in life, even to this day, are because of Islam. Your wife, your home, your children, your career, everything, your friends. Think about the things that really matter in life. They were all because of Islam, your Muslim circle, the people you were with. All of that had to do with your Islam. And that is wasting your life, really?
Oh, you mean friends like you? Friends who backstab me despite all you do for them? Friends like Arij who straight up lie about why I left Islam to protect the religions? Friends who say, I can't help you move homes because you have a blog against Islam? Muslim friends of my wife who told her to leave me just because I was atheist? Friends who stopped talking to her because of how she asked them too many questions or doesn't wear hijab? You lot are a worthless bunch. That's one point against you. As for my career, Islam did nothing for my career. My worldly success is a result of my intelligence and ability. I did well because I work hard and I'm smart. Islamic rules made me avoid certain industries, banking, insurance, finance. Did that help me? Hell no. That's 2 points against you. I was only able to buy a home after leaving Islam. Islam prevented me from going and getting a mortgage because interest is haram. So I lost out on a few years of capital gains, hundreds of thousands of dollars. That isn't a positive. 3 points against you. How about my wife and kids? I'm pretty sure non-Muslims have wives and kids too. That's 4 points against you and Islam. Checkmate, Fayaz. As for telling my brother I wasted 14 years, I don't remember saying that. It would have been 15 years, not 14. I might have said it in some context of wasted energy or something like that, but I don't talk like this. I'm not the type of person who looks at life this way. All of it, even the shitty Islamic parts, made me who I am today. So I don't regret it. I'm a person who is at peace with his life decisions. I roll with the punches. And I don't believe in free will. Whatever happened, happened. I could never have helped as many people as I'm able to now if I never converted to Sunnism and then left it. So how can I regret it? It's really a big part of who I am.
Mr. Samir, how has your life improved since? What have you done? I'm making angry videos now? Really? That's your success? Okay. Have fun. How's that working out for you?
Exactly. Well,
It's pathetic.
it's been absolutely a great experience having you on the show, and thank you for for giving that testimonial there.
Which one of my videos am I angry other than this one? My first one?
Hello everyone. I wanted to share my story in some details. I was kind of hesitating to, make a video, but you know what? I thought maybe I should do that because few people.
Clearly you don't watch my videos. If you did, you wouldn't say this. My videos are calm, collected, and based on reason and evidence. I have a reputation for the type of content that I put out. Watch my response to Noman Ali Khan or Mohammed Hijab about wife beating. There's no anger there. But I do take apart bad arguments like the ones your Muslim scholars make, one by one. And unlike the madman Hijab, who screams and spits like an unhinged maniac, I don't behave that way.
Some Muslims can have doubts about it. I don't get it. But then you have Muslims say, I have got doubts, I don't know, and this can't. Be quiet. Have some guts. Be a man. Stop being the slave of the Orientalists. Come on. It's an inferiority complex. Why, man? Brother, I have doubts. What doubts, man? What embarrassment is that? Why you have doubts? Why? So tell me now.
Maybe you should consider the log in your own eye before pointing at the speck in mine. And finally, Hijab, you are a worthless fool if you think slandering me is going to stop me or distract people from the problems and holes in Islam. You are a pathetic person to use Muslims like this to backbite. Good people like Samantha will see right through you and your desperate attempts to poison the well. Fayaz, you are truly pathetic. After all that I did for you to do this to me. How can I ever trust Muslims after this? You lot claim to be the best nation, the Ummatan Wasata, the ones that follow the best man who ever lived, yet this is how you behave, like bullies and thugs, like nothing is below you when it comes to your enemies. If anything, my apostasy is a testament to the type of man I am. I stood up for what I believed in. Despite the risk of losing my wife and kids, I left Islam, because I knew it was false. Despite risk to losing my job due to Muslims trying to get me fired, despite threats that I received for my life and safety, not for personal vices like chasing women like Fayaz thinks atheists should do, but to leave a legacy behind, to change the world, to speak out against what is wrong and to stand up for what is right and true in the world, using your voice for those who have no voice, for those accused of blasphemy in Pakistan or thrown in jail and whipped in Saudi, fighting for those who are silenced by brutal regimes and forced to veil and married off as children. Stand up against apostasy law, extremism, and stand up for freedom of religion and conscience. This is what I will live for and die for a better world, one that I will be proud to leave for my kids. And I have an announcement to make. I reached 50,000 subscribers. Thank you so much to everyone for subscribing, for watching, and for sharing my videos, and for the material and financial support. Those of you who send me encouraging messages, those of you who have sent me PayPal donations, and those of you who will continue to support me every month financially, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. This is your angry ex-Muslim, Abdullah Samir, signing out.